What's going on, y'all? This is the Black Manga Critic. I'm here to, do one of my one of my sort of non-manga videos. We got to talk about what Drake is doing. What is Drake doing? Well, I think, well, maybe a better question is like, why is like this whole like sort of Hollywood, music, film, TV, whatever, like industry, environment, milieu, whatever. Like, why is it so like just gross? It'd be just too many gross things. Just no. Just too many things. I got people telling me like, and here's what we talking about. We talking about like why does Drake feel like it's okay to just be like, hey, like me and Millie Bobby Brown was 14. Okay, we're just friends. We're friends. We're just friends. We just do things together. We talk. We text each other. We did this stuff. Like I'm like, you're 31, sir. You're 31, sir. I ain't say boy. I ain't say you're 31. I ain't say you're 31, boy. I said you were 31, sir. I said you were 31, man. What are you doing? I'm sorry, but y'all not friends. maybe y'all could be acquaintances. That's different. That's like, hey, like you do something over here, I do something over there. We might communicate every now and then through our agents or whatever, for whatever reason, right? Or I'm a mentor figure, and there's a way in which, like, I give you advice in a particular in a appropriate manner. Blah blah blah. These are things, right? These are things. When you are 31 years old, you can't go around talking about, yo, I got this 14-year-old friend. We text. I tell her I miss her sometimes. She tells me she misses me. Like, yo. I'm laughing, but I'm laughing. There's like fear in my heart. I can't. Drake. Mike, dude. This is a no. It's a no for me. Okay? You can't do that. People talking about, man, no, he didn't say that. Millie Bobby Brown said that. Drake probably wouldn't say that because Drake, I think, understands, like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be doing that. I probably shouldn't be texting 14-year-old girls just like, and being friends with 14-year-old girls. It's weird, son. It's weird. It's not good. All right? Chris Hansen's waiting with the lemonade. He waiting for you stupid behind to do something ridiculous and awful. All right, he dated someone that's like 18. He knew some model that's 18. He knew her a couple of years back or something like that. I mean, like, this is, bruh. All right, one time is like, okay, maybe this is a coincidence. Maybe he's just, maybe there's some extra, there's some other stuff going on or whatever. Like this is, right? Like maybe they knew each other through family and family friends or whatever, right? When you do certain things multiple times, then it's like, nah, yo, son, you gotta work on these things. You gotta take all the steps back, all the steps, as many steps as you possibly can. You gotta moonwalk back. You gotta two-step back. You gotta Charleston back. You gotta do something. You gotta take all those steps back. This is too much, yo. This is too much. Drake, sir. I say sir because you are 31 years old. Man. Because you were 31 years old. There is no, this is not a thing. 31-year-olds aren't like, yo, this 14-year-old girl's my friend. I don't go around talking about, yo, I was talking to Trina, my 14-year-old friend. We were texting. We were talking about life and da da da. I'm like, nah. Don't do that. Don't do that. Right? None of the people that I know who are whole adults go around befriending 14-year-old girls and are texting them talking about, yo, you know, they don't do that. They don't do that. All right. And this is not me saying like, I'm not saying Drake is a pedophile or anything like that. I'm not saying that. Okay, I'm not saying that. But it's like these are the kind of things where it's just like, son, you gotta back it up, right? And I'm just gonna read through the article. I'm gonna link the article. Billboard shared this, okay? All right. And I also want to hear what Drake's got to say about it, because like this is something that like you have to say something about it. You can't just like let things fly around. And when we talk about stuff like this, right? It's different when it's like, oh, maybe you broke up with another celebrity that's around your age, da da da, and you know that's your business, that's your life. Like you get to date people, you know what I mean, and break up and da da da, and like that's your life, Drake. Like I'm not going around talking about, yo, why Drake break up with da 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 with whomever. Like I don't really care. I'm like, Drake's doing his thing, you know, with you know, with whoever, whichever women he's dating and whatever. I'm like, whatever. You know, that is what it is. All right. But this is like, nah, you have to set the record straight. All right. It ain't cool to just kind of let these things run their course. I'm like, this ain't gonna run its course. This is some stuff. I'm gonna copy the link, put it through in the chat. All right, just so you see what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. All right, I'm gonna read through it though. Because this is just like, come on, son. And this is not Drake that said this stuff. This is the 14-year-old girl. This is Millie Bobby Brown, 11 from Stranger Things. All right, so and there's already a lot that I feel about when it comes to those kids, because like there's a lot of ways in which they've been like sexualized in like their in different instances. It's just creepy, you know. So this is not something that like is like super surprising. Hollywood is just rife with pedophilia, rife with like disgusting like you know, instances of sexual assault, harassment, all of it, rape, all of it. All right, so this is not like film industry, music industry, all that stuff. All right, so yeah. All right, but let me go through the article. I'm not saying Drake is a pedophile, but I'm saying like, dude, Drake, you have to understand what you're doing is not good. It ain't right. It's odd. If you're a mentor figure and like you give like Millie Bobby Brown advice in terms of like acting and how to engage with agents, da da da, and whatever, and like you talk with their parents and da da da, and this is the thing. Like there are things that you have to make clear. Otherwise, it's not good. It just ain't. It just ain't. Oftentimes what happens is whenever you have actors that are like much older than let's say a co-star or someone that they know or whatever, oftentimes what happens is like a grooming process, right? There's a grooming process that happens where they might know, like the older actor might know the other actor, the younger, right? The much younger actor, and they, you know, interact and they're friends, whatever, and then all of a sudden you turn around, you blink and you miss that like they, you know, got together and as a couple and where they got married, whatever. You just blink and you miss it, right? If you're not like, you know, watching or you're not observing. But let me go through the article real quick. So Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown spoke to Access Hollywood at the 2018 Emmy Awards Monday about her close relationship with Drake. All right, she says, "I love him. I met him in Australia, and he's honestly so fantastic. The actor gushed, adding that Drake is a great friend and a great role model. Okay. So she said a great role model. All right, and a great friend. These two things. All right, we get there, and we're like, whatever. So we gotta move on. We gotta move on. All right, because just that, if she's just like, hey, he's a great friend and a great role model. All right, whatever. Close relationship. Okay, I gotta hear more about it. I gotta know what else is going on. Okay, I'm already kind of like, but I gotta see what else we got. We just texted each other the other day, and he was like, I miss you so much, and I was like, I miss you more. He's great. The 14-year-old star added. Right there. Weird. That's the type of stuff you see. One, when you're dealing with maybe close friends, like as we're actually friends and like they're doing stuff. But more often than not, when that sort of tends to happen, it's like, close, like romantic sort of like types of sort of like relationships or interactions and stuff like that. It's like, right? When asked about the type of advice the 31-year-old rapper gives to her, right? You got to make sure you mention he's 31, right? Good on Billboard for mentioning, the 31-year-old rapper, right? The 14-year-old star added, right? Because they already know. They trying to let you know this is weird, right? There are little ways in which, right, as like a journalist, something like that, if you sort of send signals to be like, yo, come on, readers, you already know what it is. That's a signal, all right? When asked about the type of advice the 31-year-old rapper gives to her, Brown replied, about boys, he helps me. Brown went on to explain that she is planning on seeing Drake when he comes to Atlanta in November for his Aubrey and the Three Migos tour. I'm like, all right. But like, dude, what are you doing giving advice to a 14-year-old girl about boys? You ain't. I'm pretty sure you ain't her father. I'm pretty sure you're not her guardian. I'm pretty sure you're not. If you clear a lot of stuff up, and you're like, yo, I'm her mentor. Like she sees me as a mentor figure. This is how our relationship is sort of set up. But it's like the texting, man. It's an odd and creepy thing. It is. People would be like, yo, it's cool, man. You know what it is? It is what it is. Like, you don't text 14-year-old girls that you miss them, and the 14-year-old girl texts you back, I miss you more. Like, that's the romantic, like those type of texts have romantic inclinations. They do. All right. Come on. All right. Nah. Nah. All right. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like, it's yo, Key. This is that grooming type of stuff, right? It's like, oh, and this is the type of thing that like men do all the time. I've heard this from dudes, many dudes who be like, I'm just gonna slide in, give them certain types of advice. I'm gonna be there for them. I'm gonna be there for the woman. I'm gonna be a shoulder to cry on. I'm gonna act like I'm their friend just to be their friend, and then I'm gonna slide in and do my thing. It's like it's grooming. It's creepy, yo. It's creepy. All right. There's not much. There's like, right, like there is like this, like, dude, Drake, point her to the proper people. Right? Point Millie Bobby Brown to the people that she should seek advice from on boys. All right. She wants to see a therapist, let her see a therapist. All right. She wants to, like, do that. Okay. She can talk to a therapist about boys. She can talk to friends that are around her age about boys. She can talk to her if she has like, if whoever her guardians are about boys. If she feels that she can do that. There are places. You ain't it, Drake. You're not the person that she should be going to be like, hey, there's this boy, and nah. It's a no. right? When you texting, it's weird, bruh. This is a no. This is a no. All right. He already went too far when he was like, yo, we gonna be friends. My 14-year-old, she's my friend. Like, yo, she's 14. 14. 14. All right. Do you know it was not that much long ago that she was, right? It was not that much long ago that she was prepubescent. Wasn't that much long ago? It was not. It was not. It's weird, bruh. 14. All right? 14. Ain't no real questions there. It's just like, yo, I ain't trying to make no friends with 14-year-olds. No. No. Why? Right? Again, there's a difference between like, hey, okay, maybe I'm a mentor, and there's a way, and there's like a very distinct way in which we interact. That does not include like, I miss you more. Like, you know, they don't mentorship doesn't include that. No, it does not. I've never been a mentor to anyone of any age and have been like, hey, I miss you. Never done it. Never done it. Never done it. Yeah, he should know. He should know better. Definitely. Apparently he does. He might not. I don't know. Again, Drake's gotta say something. Why does he have to say something? Because this is not good. This is not good. All right. But oftentimes what happens is, and a part of it is, to me, I think, is this is what sort of like these spaces are like. These spaces sort of foster this really unhealthy, you know, these unhealthy like relationship sort of dynamics, right? Where it's like, it's fine. Like, it's cool. You know, we you know, it's like, hey, you know, Woody Allen basically groomed his like daughter, you know, married her and became his wife, you know, daughter figure or whatever, became, and that figure became his wife. Like, he can't stay quiet. He can't do it. Can't do it. If he wants to stay quiet, he can, but it's just gonna keep getting, it's gonna keep being worse. All right. Like, you got to make sure that people know you aren't creepy in that way. Right? I don't like, because again, there's always like, let's say like Drake, right? Like, one thing I never really said about Drake in the past, I never said like, yo, Drake's like, you know, Drake's looking for like, is trying to like, you know, groom like women that are way younger than he is so that he can date them eventually and then whatever, right? All right. I can't remember. What was it? Was it right, like Tyga? That stuff with Tyga, like, that's weird. Yo, bruh. All right. And the thing with Tyga, we know that Tyga had known Kylie Jenner for quite some time. It wasn't like, oh, Kylie Jenner turned 18 and then Tyga was like, oh, okay, you know, I just met Kylie. She's 18. I'm like, bruh, how old is Tyga anyways? So, it's got Tyga. All right. Come on, what are you doing, Google? All right, for whatever reason, my search tab ain't working. Can't look up Tyga for whatever reason. Very odd. A little weird. Yeah, it's been weird. I don't know what's up with that. Oh well. But yeah, it's like, this is not stuff that you could do. Like, this, it ain't right. It's super sus. All right. Nah, she's 14. No, she's not. She's old enough to make like certain decisions, definitely, right? In terms of like consent and stuff, like well, not even consent, like, well, not even in terms of consent, but like in terms of like, I don't mean consent in terms of like sex, right? I'm talking about like, you know, if she says like, hey, like, I don't want to do this scene, or, you know, I feel uncomfortable like in this like certain situation or whatever. She has like the right to make a decision to say like, nope, I don't want to do that. Right? Definitely. Okay. Same thing with like, and same thing with sex, right? Like, I think we all know that like there are definitely 14-year-old children having sex. They are. All right, this is not something like we know this, but again, there are things that like she's definitely old enough to say like, hey, like nah. But the problem is what often happens too often is that you have children that are easily impressionable. They're easily impressionable, and they don't even really know it themselves. Like this is just like how like young like brains like work. You know what I mean? Like you were still very much so impressionable, and it takes a while until you get to a place where you're like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna let these people like mold me in a particular way, you know, because I'm young and I'm impressionable and stuff like that. She's 14, bro. Nah, that ain't it. Yo, Drake, this ain't it. It ain't it. This ain't it. All right. This is very simple. This is a very simple thing. It's just like Drake, just be like, yo, I'm a mentor to Millie. You know, I probably I definitely should not be texting. I miss you more. Like no. Nope. Cut that out. Cut that out. Cut that out. All right? Because when you do that, that's like, nah. This is a nah. Okay? So we gotta be Drake. No, this is a no, Drake. All right? This is a no. We gotta stop that. We gotta stop that mess. It's a hot mess. All right? Yes or no? No. Y'all trying to, no. Y'all come in, you know, you can be friends. Nah, man. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know, one, what you're doing. Why are you friends? What are you doing? If you're just friends, is Drake just going to walk around with Millie Bobby Brown alone? If they're just friends, they can just go to restaurants, chill. Is Drake gonna take Millie Bobby Brown out for a pizza as a friend? Nah, I don't think so. People be trying to do this stuff, and it's like, no. You're not gonna convince me of that nonsense. Sorry. All right. I ain't calling this man a pedophile. All right. There's a difference, right? There's a difference. I don't think that Drake is like attracted to 14-year-old girls. I don't think that. All right. But you also got to understand, it's like, dude, there is a reason why you do things in a particular manner. There's a reason why you move in a particular manner, especially if you're as famous as Drake. Especially if you're as famous as Drake. Right? On the one hand, I totally understand, like, you know, celebrities being like, yo, like, why am I always being perceived? Why am I always being watched? Blah, blah, blah. Yo, I totally get that. All right. I think, like, yo, if you want to date someone, you should just be able to date someone, and like no one needs to like comment on it in a certain way. You know, if they're like, you know, if you're around, you know, if you're around certain ages and it makes sense. You know, that's like, yo, I'm not talking about that. I'm not looking around like, yo, what's going on with Beyonce, Jay-Z's relationship. I'm not looking into that every day. I'm not really invested in that so much. I'm invested in their music, and how in certain views and things of that nature, and mainly the music. But dude, y'all keep telling me, yo, they can be friends. I'm like, nah. And you know that there's a reason why there's certain things you just cannot do. There are certain things that you cannot do. And you know how it'll look. All right. You were not as a 31-year-old man, you were not taking Millie Bobby Brown out for pizza. By your own, but just you two. You ain't doing that. Please. Talking about, well, you know, people could be friends. You know, you could be 31 and be friends with a 14-year-old. Like, nah, you're not really friends. You're not really friends. No, you're not. No, you're not. Right? And again, I'm not saying like Drake's definitely a pedophile. Put him in jail. Like, no. I'm telling you, Drake, he just needs to make sure that like he's very clear about what kind of relationship they have, and you know, in terms of like interactions and stuff like that, because like that's what you're supposed to be doing. If you are an adult, if you are 31 years old and you were interacting with a 14-year-old child, you need to be very clear to people around you about what that interaction is about. All right. If I'm interacting with like if I'm interacting with like let's say a student, like let's say I'm tutoring a student right now. I'm tutoring a student. I think I want to say she's like 14 or something like that. There like a few things are happening. One, we're not friends. I'm not friends with this 14-year-old student. This is my student. I'm teaching her certain things, right? Like English, ELA work, writing. Okay. Like it's very clear. Okay. When we are you know, doing like a particular session and we're going over grammar, we're going over writing and discussing certain things, the door to the classroom is like wide open. People can definitely see that I ain't no creep, and that I'm doing my job, and that she's doing her job as a student, and that she's learning, and that this is what's happening. Period. All right. Why? Because I understand that it's like, yo, there are a lot of awful people out there that would take advantage of children and have taken advantage of children when they're in a particular setting, when the doors are closed. Like, yo, we understand this to be true. This is fact. All right. So you got to make sure that you, that like, you, one, are not perceived to be a creep because of the way that you make certain moves. Yeah, definitely. Women do not close the door on like when they're doing certain things. Like women aren't taking 14-year-old kids. If you're a 31-year-old woman, you are not walking around with like 14-year-old child taking as friends. You ain't doing that. No, you're not doing that, because you already know what is that. What are you doing as friends? What is the purpose of that? What is that 14-year-old giving you as a friend? All right, it's exactly. It's so easy for kids to develop crushes, especially in this particular sort of environment. All right, like and look, I'm gonna say this right. 14-year-old girls, when 14-year-old girls be like, I miss you, especially to someone like Drake, there's more to it than that. They might go straight to your face and be like, nah, you know, we just friends, I'm playing cool. Da, da, da. No. Come on, son. I miss you more. Like, bruh. Yeah, some of y'all don't want to see that stuff. You just want to be like, nah, you know, it's cool, it's what it is. No. It's the kid's fault? Really? We're blaming 14-year-old Millie. That's Millie Bobby Brown's fault. That she might have a crush on Drake. And that Drake is not acting as like the adult that he should and be like, nope, sorry. Right? If you want to have a mentor kind of student or whatever, like figure like mentor-mentee relationship, that's different. There are ways to go about that. Texting, I miss you more. That's not the way. That's not it. That's not it. Ever. That's not it. It ain't. Come on. All right. Some coming to me, you know, you got to teach it, but no. It's like, yes, if it's a mentor-mentee relationship, but this is there are certain things here that like, and maybe Drake sees it that way, but again, you have to be clear about that. You cannot be a public figure. You cannot be a public figure. Okay. Knowing that you are a mentor to a lot of people and that like you're a role model to certain people, you know you're a role model. Like I hate that stuff when it's like, man, I ain't asked to be a role model. I'm like, bro, like people whether they're famous or not, like are role models. Like I'm a role model to my students, period. Period. Right? Parents are role models to their children. This is like a thing. This is not like some, oh, you know, I didn't ask to be a role model. I'm like, dude, if you're in a particular position, you are a role model. That's it. All right, so you gotta make sure that you're dealing with this appropriately. Drake has to address it. If he doesn't address it, then it's a problem, right? Because then he's gonna keep making friends with 14, 15-year-old kids. That's like, nah, son, that's weird. That's weird. I'm sorry. Sorry. It's a no. It's a no. No, Millie Bobby Brown is 14 years old. Right? Millie Bobby Brown is 14 years old. Okay? Like Drake has to make the decision to be like, nah. All right? All right? Drake's got to be the adult in the room and be like, let's move on. All right, if you want to have a mentor-mentee relationship, like he's got to be the one to do that, right? I'll be like, what are Millie's parents doing? This is the thing, right? Like I think I'm not gonna say that like all, you know, like I would never say like, you know, all child, you know, all the parents of child, all of the child parents of child actors are like horrible people. I wouldn't say that, but what often happens, it happens often enough to where we always have to be like, what's going on? What's up? You know, so I don't know what the parents feel about it, but that's something I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear, like, you know, has Drake talked with their parents? Do they know what, like, you know, what sort of relationship they have is as a mentor-mentee relationship? Like that's the kind of stuff. It's just like being open and transparent and visible is extremely important in those situations. That's the thing. You have to be very, very, very as transparent as humanly possible. You cannot go about being friends with a 14-year-old, sending texts, talking about, you know, I miss you and I miss you. Like you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. Parents be looking at, if I was a parent and my 14-year-old daughter, right, and my fiance's 14-year-old daughter, like, you know, showed us some text from a 31-year-old dude. In this situation, right? Like this, like if, let's say my 14-year-old daughter is like a famous actor, and the other person is like also extremely famous, and they were both like they were both child actors. They have that experience together, whatever, right? And I see like that kind of like mess. I'm like, nah. I'm talking with my daughter. I'm like, yo, we need to have some combos. All right. Why are we talking about Japan and the age of consent being 13? They have their own issues. They need to work out with that. All right. Yeah, because y'all will bring that up and be like, well, it's fine because this is how it is in Japan. I'm like, but what? I'm pretty sure there are people in Japan that are like, yo, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about it. Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure. You know, I'm pretty sure. Come on, y'all. All right, and I think Drake. Look, Drake just needs to like do better. He just like there's a lot of like sort of he trips up a little bit too often. And I think the thing is like this is not like, oh, Drake messed up twice in 2018. It's like this is consistent. He is 31 years old. Drake is not a child. He's a grown adult, right? He needs to be better. He just has to be better. And this is like stuff that's hard. It's like, dude, don't befriend 14-year-old children. You can be, right? You can be, let me see. Right? You can be, whatchamacallit? Have a mentor-mentee relationship. That's very different. Right? Yeah, the nice for what thing, he put that out. It's like, yeah, I did my thing. Here's my contribution to feminism. Now, could I have my feminism card, please? You know what I mean? And then on the other hand, he'll do all these other things. It's just like, what Drake. Come on, sir. All right. It's just like, man, he gotta talk to somebody. He gotta talk to somebody. All right. He gotta talk to somebody. He gotta read something. He gotta do something. Because he keeps like he just flip-flops. He flip-flops so often, all right, in that way that it's like I can't take Drake seriously. Exactly. They won't hold him accountable. And again, this is like the kind of space, right? That's the kind of milieu that like Hollywood, film industry, TV industry, music industry, we got so many people that just are not held accountable and have not been held accountable for the messed up, disgusting things that they be doing. And again, right, it's just like people around them in their circles and stuff like that, they'd be like, hey, you know, just keep doing your thing, man. Just keep doing your thing. You making that money. You good. Clearly, people, look at all these millions of people that love you. All right. You can have tens and millions of people, right, love what you do in terms of your music and stuff like that, and still be a problem, yo. You know, that's what it is. It's like I like the song, but again, I'm very aware of what that was. You know what I mean? I'm very aware of what that was, right? And he put it out there, and then like, you know, and then like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna go say this stuff about women. Then I'm gonna go put out Scorpion and say, and you know, put out this song that like basically degrades, you know, that says like woman ain't nothing. I'm like, dude, how you gonna have that? How you gonna have Nice for What on your album and another song on your album that's like woman ain't really much? I'm done with it. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Right? That's what I'm talking about. Right? You gotta be consistency is really important, especially as an adult. As an adult, if you're not like consistent in terms of certain things and like your beliefs and like and you know, trying to make the world a better place and trying to make your space, the spaces that you're in, a better place, and like, yeah, you know, and doing that consistently, then we got to talk about that. All right, and y'all know. Y'all know. All right. And one thing I try to do is like I do now. Like you know, I have people on Twitter that, you know, tell me, oh, you know, come on, you know, I want to hear that stuff. All right. If you already know how I feel and you keep saying these things that just like are just full of nothing, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna respond to certain tweets. I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to talk about certain things on like a Twitter thread. One, because it's just a limit. There's a limit to the characters, right? And I need to be able to express myself in more than 20 to 40 characters and say like, yo, this is why this is a problem. Stop that, please. All right. People talking about, you know, they can be friends, fine, whatever. I'm like, and it's just this is the kind of willful ignorance that like really bugs me. You know, and people just be like, oh, you know, it's fine, it's whatever. Music industry is cool. Film industry is cool. You know, it's fine. Pedophiles running rampant. It's fine. Right? Shannon Sharp voice, right? Ain't no problem. Like they cool with that. They cool with that. Like, and it's not even so much that they're not that they're cool with it. They're like they just ignore it. They just ignore it. Right? We've just had point after point after point of just people coming out and being like, yo, like this person, like I was sexually abused as a young child by this older person in this environment. And this is like, right, and this is like constant. This is like there are so many cases of these things. Right? It's not like, oh, this is just like an outlier. It's not an outlier. It's not an outlier. This is like a common occurrence within these spaces, within the film industry, within the music industry, within the TV industry, all of those things. So you can't come to me and be like, oh, it's cool. They just, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, it ain't no thing. It ain't no thing. You know, it is what it is. No. It's very much a thing. It's very much a problem. And that's where again, willful ignorance comes in, because Drake is just like whoop, whoop. He got a water bubble around his head, right? Right. He got the sound fruit. He got the sounds quiet fruit from cortisone. He can't hear nothing. Right? Or he can hear something, but like they can't hear him. It's like a inverted like version of something. He just can't hear nothing. Can't hear nothing out there. All right. It's like, what are you doing? You gotta be able to pay. You gotta pay attention to that stuff. All right. So he's just making himself look ridiculous. All right. So that's when people come to me talking about, is what it is. All right. You have to be clear. You have to be clear about how you stand, what you feel about certain things. And you can't be kind of wishy-washy about it in a way. You got to be like, yo, this right here is an issue. Drake got to do something about it. Period. So it is what it is. All right. I think that's all I had to say about that. It's just like, again, too many people like keep, coming to me talking about, trying to make these like ridiculous arguments for what? I don't know. Why are you defending it? And that's the thing. Let me mention this before I stop. One thing that I think really kind of bugs me is there are people out here that feel like they like to me it's very clear, like they want to, like, a lot of times when they make arguments, they want to argue for the sake of arguing. And I'm like, dude, like, how about, or ma'am or whomever, right? Take that energy, right? Take that energy that you're putting into just arguing for arguing's sake, to be right, to be, the devil's advocate, or to be the only one in the space who's like has like a clear point of view, or like unbiased point of view, or an objective point of view. Take that energy that you're working, that you're using towards that to help people. Take that energy that you're using for that and put it towards like, yo, we gotta say something about this issue. Yeah, like the MJ stuff. Like I'm like, we were like, yo, MJ, what are you doing? Right? You know what I mean? It's like we were like, even now I'm just like, bruh, MJ. That's a no. That's a no. Okay, that's a no. And the parents that allow their children to do, like, nah, that's a no on the parents. Like the children ain't like the children are like, yo, we're gonna go see Michael Jackson. We're gonna get to go to the Neverland Ranch. We're gonna go to this like sort of amusement parky place. Like they're children. They're gonna be like they just want to have fun. They are not suspecting that Michael Jackson is gonna like want to like sleep in the same bed with them and do all this weird no. They're not expecting it. The children. That's on the parents. Okay, it's not on the children to be like, yo, like, right? It's not on them. It's not their like necessarily their responsibility, right? That's something like they have the right to do that, right? And that's something that they should feel like they can do, but it's not their like it's not on them to stop an awful things from happening. But back to the thing with the arguments. It's like, again, there are too many people out here. They like to argue for argument's sake, but they don't want to. They're not really arguing for like some sort of greater sort of good or change or progress or anything like that. That's like substantial. They just want to be like, man, but look, you're not arguing it right though. You gotta like, and it's consistent. It's consistent, right? There are times and places for that. There's a way that you can have a conversation about being like, hey, like I want you to be able to push this to push these particular thoughts and these sort of ideas and facts and whatever, right? But you got to do it in a certain way. There's a difference to do that, right? But it's like there's a way to do that that's like constructive and that helps the people that helps the people that are doing progressive things and like substantial things and tangible things do those things better. right? There are times and spaces for that, right? But too often, what I often see is like people that are just like I'm like, who are you defending? Who are you helping? What are you doing when you argue certain things? What is that? What is the purpose of that? Why are you spending so much energy arguing for the sake of arguing instead of spending that energy helping people in a certain way? Right? That's my thing. That's my thing. You know, so you know it is what it is in that. But let me see what you do. For recital, man, it's technically on topic, but it irritates me so much when people say Drake is a better rapper artist than Kendrick. Like, yeah, it's subjective. It's definitely subjective because I can understand people that are like, yo, you know, I feel like Drake is a better artist because of these things. I feel like Kendrick is a better artist because of these things. When we're talking about rapping, I feel like, I mean, to me, Kendrick is like clearly like the superior rapper. This is like, to me, period. Like, I don't. But that's me. Again, that's also kind of subjective. But I believe like I could like pull out like bodies of sort of work and be like on this album, you know, and this album like Kendrick is clearly the superior rapper, right? But you know, people can also be like, hey, like look at this album that Drake like sort of put out. Clearly, Drake's a better artist, if you will. Maybe his performances are better, stuff like that. It's different. You know, it's tough. Yeah, I mean, people are just like, Drake's just a really nice guy. I'm like, no. Drake's a nice guy. Drake's a nice guy. And there are nice guys all over the place. Nice guys, like, you know, whenever, like, if there's a person that calls himself a nice guy, I feel like, I'm a nice guy. I'm just like, you know, and there's a certain way that they do it. You know, that they're always telling that to women, right? Those guys, they're always telling that to women. They're always trying to convince women that they're nice guys, right? And it's just like, yo, if you're doing that, you're not a nice guy. Like if you're trying to convince women that you're a nice guy, like, nah, you're not a nice guy because like women, if you're like true, genuinely like like a decent person, like a good person, and like people think you're nice, like they will tell you, you will know. They will let you know. Okay, they will let you know in a certain way. But when you are constantly going on and like, oh, I'm a nice guy, you're probably not a nice guy. Also, I think when it comes to sort of people like Drake, I think people are just easily kind of fooled when Drake does certain things. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but like Drake does this thing, but he like, you know, flip-flop super hard and this other thing. He was talking about how women are awesome and they should be able to have power, you know, And then over here you're talking about women ain't nothing, man, they trash, You know what I mean? Like, nah, you know, when women do these things, it's because they hoes. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you doing? Yeah. Right? Right again, predators, like, right? Because like what he's doing with that girl that's like the 18-year-old girl, like that's like, I'm like, bruh. The model, I'm like, oh Lord. Don't get me started on that. All right. There's a lot going on there. I'm not saying that like, you know, like legally, like, yes, of course, he can date like this woman, like obviously. But there are guys who like when they consistently date like sort of like younger and they go after like and they try to go after like um they try to go after sort of like and start relationships that they feel like, oh, if I talk to this particular person and I do these and I do like, you know, the bare minimum and I do these things, like, you know, they feel like they're easy targets. And like you can always tell like when certain people like when certain like you know, celebrities date in a certain way, you can tell like that's like predator behavior. You know, like it's predator behavior when you say like, oh, that person's easy, right? That's like a predator prey relationship. That's what's happening there. You know, excuse name on Twitch when he was streaming with Ninja is the name of a notorious Jamaican crowd. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Wow. That's wild. I'm gonna look into that. Let me know. Let me know. You can always feel free to either DM me or put it down in the live chat if you feel comfortable doing that, like the name of the person, whomever. I'll look into that. Wow, there was a war for his extradition. You know, and that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like there are people that and they're just not like informed in certain ways, you know, but they want to be like, yo, you know, I got this, I'm gonna say this thing. I'm like, well, but you're not really informed like that. Like, bruh, you're not really informed like that. Like, you can't like, dude, why would you have the name of like a crime lord, as like something? You know what I mean? It's like there are ways that you move, that are just revealing about who you are as a person at a particular point in time. All right, because I do think, like, you know, certain people can change and stuff like that. I believe that, but I do think there are some people who are just, it would take like a miracle for them to like shift gears, and that's how I feel about that. But you know, like, okay, yeah, but yeah, it's like, dude, what are you doing, Drake? All right, now, like again, predator behavior, right? The sort of definition, I guess, the legal sort of definition of a sexual predator is like someone, right? A sexual predator might not ever do, might not ever like commit sexual uh, harassment or assault in a particular way, in like a sort of legal sort of way, right? Or rape or whatever, right? Rape, which is like a type of sexual assault, but that doesn't mean that they're not going out of their way to, like, you know, pursue people, right? In the ways in which like a predator would do, a sexual predator would do. So it's like, this is the thing. This is the thing, right? There are guys who, like, you know, who they know, like they know like how to sort of make it easier for themselves to, like, you know, get with certain people and stuff like that, you know, and they look for certain clues, and like that's predator behavior. When you're like, no, I'm not like right, when sort of like your priority is like, oh, I'm gonna look for these people. I'm gonna look for people that are gonna be easy to, like, you know, and get with and whatever. All right, that's predator behavior. Drake be doing that consistently. All right, and then again, that's why, like, right, and I think in some ways, there's a lot of ways in which like Drake sort of like failed kind of, you know, attempts at certain relationships and stuff like that. Like, I'm not gonna get into that because I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not anything like that. But I will say that, like, one thing that I have learned, and that I've talked to a lot of people, is that, like, Drake, like, especially more recently, he's just been like engaging in like predator like behavior. It is what it is, right? R. Kelly, you know, cats like that. All right. Let me see, Furman, what'd you say? Yeah, a lot of what Drake does seems like he's doing the bare minimum to keep the public court of opinion in his favor. Like, it seems pretty easy to see through. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like are very like easily fooled by like face value sort of stuff, and it's like the consistency for me is really key. It's like, do you consistently like push women forward? Do you consistently support certain women in a particular way? And I think that, like, you know, one thing that's sort of important is like Hollywood, this sort of, again, this space, the music industry, the film industry, TV, Hollywood. It's a very, it's not a place. And I'll say this: Russ was on the Breakfast Club, and I will say this: I'm not like a big like fan of Russ or anything like that, because Russ is kind of another person that's kind of like, Russ, I think, thinks a bit too highly of like himself in certain ways. As an artist, I understand like saying like, yo, I feel like I'm a great artist and I'm gonna push my work. Like, that's different from being like, yo, man, look at me, I'm so smart, I got all the answers. You know, you stupid because I'm right. I'm like, you know, it's like there's a difference, like, in that sense. So like Russ, I think, too often kind of does that, and he bothers me in that way. But one thing that he said that was sort of that I thought that I did agree with was when he said like, you know, that space, the music industry, these certain spaces, like, and you could lump in the film industry in Hollywood and the TV film industry and all that, right? And those spaces are just very toxic. They're very toxic, and they don't allow you to move in the ways that you would like. You have to gain a certain level of sort of like notoriety and power to well, not even gain power, but like you have to gain a certain type of notoriety, right? Because power is sort of like, you know, sort of exercise in a way, right? So like you have to gain a certain amount of notoriety, money, you know, clout, if you will, or whatever, right? To make certain moves, to say like, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you, and I don't want to talk to you, right? If you are just kind of coming into it, like it's very difficult to like, it's not impossible, but it's extremely difficult to be like, you know what, I'm not gonna talk to this person, because it's really easy to get blacklisted. It's very easy in those industries to be like, for someone to talk to a producer or a CFO or CEO or whomever, and for them to be like, oh, you know what, don't put that person on. Don't work with them. Don't do those stuff. So that's why, like, right, like to me, like, look, there are a lot of women that were in Drake's like Nice for What video, but it's like, look, if you like what are you doing behind the scenes? Are you talking with Drake? Are you having conversations with Drake? Are you telling him like, yo, you shouldn't be doing these things, shouldn't be doing those things? You got to hold those people accountable too. But again, it's difficult because sometimes people right, might feel like, yo, and this is like people, and I'm not talking about just women, I'm talking about like people in general, like, or like, I can't really say anything about this person over here, because if I say something, then that'll cut my relationship with that other person, and I need that other person because we're in this joint business venture and blah, blah, blah. So it's hard. And that's why for me, like when I see that Nice for What video, I'm just like, to me, it's like the video is like, okay, I see the message, I see what's going on, but it's like it's surface level, because you have to think about, what are those actual relationships like? Like, did he pay them to be in the video? Did he not? What happened? What was the conversations about? You know, do these women expect you know, a certain level of, you know, camaraderie from Drake and all these types of things? And do they expect Drake to like be consistent in what he's doing and everything like that? Have they talked with them about it? That's the kind of stuff that I'm looking out for. So that's why for me, again, I say that this environment is that environment is very toxic. It's very toxic. That was one thing I did agree with in terms of like what Russ said. And it's hard to do certain things and to make certain moves. That's pretty cool. The Tyler's doing new Mr. Grinch stuff. That's pretty dope. Pretty dope. I like that. I want to see that movie. I like the live action, and you know, obviously like the animated one is dope. But I like the live action one too. That's pretty, with Jim Carrey. That's pretty good. I like that. Jim Carrey played a great Grinch. That was Jim Carrey, right? Yeah, it was Jim Carrey. You know, it's pretty good. Um, let's see. Yeah, and I think like you know, and Tyler's talented. Tyler's a talented guy. Um, he's a talented guy. I think he's slowly becoming, you know, sort of coming out and being more, you know, doing more of like what he kind of wants to do, I think, in certain ways, and making certain moves. And while I will say, like, I heard about like the stuff with like Tyler and like Eminem and all of that. While I will say, like, I'll say that, like, you know, there's a way in which you have to, like, if you're gonna be like friends with someone, like there's a way there's a way in which you have to like sort of talk with them and have certain conversations and stuff like that. But I'm like, dude, like, if you know, like, you know, but like if you you know, if you're friends with like, you know, Eminem, who like consistently like, you know, throws like homophobic like slurs out, you know, the most recent being in 2018, you know, then it's like, yo, like you gotta move on. You gotta move on from that. All right. And you know, big ups to Tyler for that. But yeah. All right. I think yeah, but like yeah, I agree. I also agree with you too, Key, right? It's just like again, cultural appropriation is a thing. And I will say that like it is difficult. Like there are like, you know, certain types of there's certain types of you know, acts or acts that aren't that are it's difficult to say whether it's cultural appropriation or something else, or just like, you know, being inspired or influenced, right, or being influenced by a particular thing or culture or whatever. And then there's like, yo, like, you know, I'm gonna like take, you know, this particular sound and then you know, speak in a certain like speaking in a certain patois and like stuff like that, and you know, to and act like, you know, I have any sort of real connection like to, you know, Jamaica and stuff like that. Like get out of here. You're like, I'm pretty sure Drake ain't Jamaican. I don't think. And you know, stuff like that. That's like it's just not it's not authentic. And when I say authentic, I mean like I don't mean like the music so much as I mean like his appreciation in a certain way. I don't think so. I think it's like, you know, I think it's very easy to like, you know, take like a WizKid beat and like, you know, or whatever, produce like tracks and be like, all right, here we go. You know, and all that. It's easy work. So, you know, it is what it is. All right, let me get out of here because it is 10:34 and I really need to, I got to do some stuff. I got to take care of my cats. I got to do a bunch of things. You know, I got to do a bunch of things. All right, so let me get out of here, y'all. All right, thank y'all for coming through, man. It's always cool, like whenever I can sort of have these conversations on my channel, you know, and just kind of have people come through and like, you know, kind of go back and forth in certain ways. It's dope. It's always dope, you know. And I think it's great. It's great for me because like, you know, let's say if I might go on like other channels and like I'll get like certain, you know, pushback in different ways. That's not to say that like I'm gonna stop like going on other channels and do that stuff, you know. But it's always cool like that I can talk about these things and just be like, look, you know, we gotta have like if we're gonna have a conversation about this stuff, like they should be like pretty like, you know, for real kind of conversations. Like we gotta really talk about these things. We really gotta like tackle them. We can't kind of dance around certain issues. And if we can do that, you know, and laugh sometimes and stuff like that, and it's cool. It's good. You know, no, yeah, Key, man. Yo, for real though, Key, like there are times where like, and I would really like, just like straight up, like there are times where like, you know, Key, like on some real stuff, like same to you, Fervent, Key, you know, there's a certain people that like when they're in, like when y'all are in the comment section in the chat, and I'm on another person's like channel, and like I'm just getting like, you know, it's like coming from like different sides, and I'm just like, whoa, like it's hard, you know what I mean? It's hard. So when y'all are there, it's extremely helpful because it kind of helps me like, you know, at times keep it together when I feel like I just want to kind of be like, man, like what am I doing? You know, like it means a lot more than I think a lot of people know. And it always like helps you kind of just like keep going and like keep, you know, having these discussions and continue to try to, you know, when I feel comfortable with it, right, go on someone else's channel and like talk about these topics and talk about these things. Like when I went on Brago's channel, I already knew what was going to happen. Right? I knew it was going to be like, some people would say certain things, other people might say other things, you know, but there's going to be a lot of like pushback in terms of how I view view like sexuality and certain like types of like comments and stuff like that, you know. So it's same with Dustin channel, you know what I mean, with Dustin channel, you know what I mean, like I always know that I'm going to get certain types of pushback, but it helps with that y'all are there. And that you are there, that you support me, and that you're there. Like it's extremely helpful. Like thank you for that. All right, because there are definitely times, like honestly, where like I'll like in the past, like not like Braga stream was like different, but like there have been times in the past where like I've gone away from a stream and like just felt like just like breaking down, like and just like like straight up just like crying because just the like levels of like vitriol and like you know, just scumbaggy comments from people and stuff like that. Like, you know, it gets you, you know, and I have no shame in being like honest about that. I'm always going to be honest about how I feel and my emotions and all that stuff, because that's healthy. Because you shouldn't keep those things in, like if you don't have to. So there have been times, but people like y'all that really kind of keep me going, you know, and sort of like, you know, always telling me like, yo, like keep this going. Like you're really sort of making like these sort of like waves and trying to make, you know, bring about change and stuff like that, and you know, and progress, and like that's important. That's important to me. Like it really does matter. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep, you know, having these discussions, and I don't know what other people are talking about. I generally like, you know, like if there are people that I just like, there are people that I just don't follow, you know, because like I already know they're gonna be like saying certain things that I just, you know, it's not even that I don't agree with. They're just things that are just rough flat out wrong. So I don't want to see that stuff. I don't want to have like certain conversations on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like if someone like tags me and they, you know, say something ridiculous, then usually what I do is I'll DM them. I'll have a conversation with them. I'll be like, hey, how I felt about that. But you know, regardless of all that stuff, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. That ain't gonna change. All right. So, you know, like I avoid certain things that'll just, you know, put me in like a really bad mood and make me like, you know, want to cry and like be extremely frustrated. Like I like you think I looked at Brago's comment section after that stream the other night? No. You think I look at Dustin's comment sections after those streams? No. I don't do that because it's like I already know what I'm gonna see. I already know what's gonna happen. I already know what's coming. I don't need to see like homophobic stuff. Like I don't need to see that stuff. All right. So it is what it is. Thank you. Both of y'all are dope. All right. And there are others here too. Like there are other people here too. Like, you know, when they're in the comment section and everything, they're super helpful. People on Twitter as well. You know, shouts out to Ash, Gabby, Kendra, Michael. You know what I mean? Michael. Shouts out to you, Michael. Dope people. All right. That are always like that are kind of just gonna always have my back in a certain way. All right. Let me get out of here. All right, I got stuff I gotta do. Okay. And thank you for having this convo with me, y'all. Been dope. Let me get out of here. That was a whole hour and like 7 or 8 minutes. All right, I'm the Black Manga Critic. We were talking about this Drake nonsense, okay, because Drake has to do better. All right, Drake's not like, you know, infallible or anything like that. I'm not saying like he can't like make mistakes, but it's like, dude, like there are certain things like when you do something like at a certain point, you just got to be better about that. Okay, so let me get out of here. All right, I'm the Black Manga Critic, y'all. Thank y'all for coming through. I'm out you.